We're early, Nicholas. This might be the one time in my life where I'm celebrating being early.
That's
See what I did there?
happy for you. Yeah, very much
Thank
so.
you. So I have a question. Well, it's not really a question, but I'm going to ask you something. Are you familiar with what a rock tumbler is, Nicholas?
No, not at all.
So a rock tumbler, a rock polisher, right? You can take like these old sort of beat up rocks, stones, you put them in this thing, and it's a way of smoothing them out, polishing them out to make them look really nice,
Okay.
right? Rock collectors will do this. My dad has one. My dad, his middle name's Stone.
Oh,
Loves rocks, man of many interests. Anyways, what I've got going on with this kidney stone now, Nicholas, I imagine in my head this stone in my bladder just bouncing around, and when this thing finally passes, it's going to be smooth as a fucking pearl.
I bet.
Jesus.
How's your back?
Well, so here's the thing. It's just this dull sort of like radiating pain. It's like very manageable.
Oh,
So like this thing is either like, I don't know, like set its course, broke it up, or I'm still in for a rude awakening. But with that said, Nicholas, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all ages, the Dork Shared Universe and Geeks Worldwide Radio proudly presents to you, notice my enunciation, the greatest podcasting team in the world. He's the comic book writer, Nick Friar. I'm the Kidney Stone Kid, backcracker, Dr. Joe. Together we are the TLDR Comic Book Club, baby. How's it going, Nicholas?
I wasn't sure what you said after kidney stone last week, and I was like, it's got to be kid, right?
I said king.
Okay, you said king. What did you say? Kid here or king here?
Kid here. I meant to say kid last week, but they
Oh,
came out.
are you saying pow or pa? It's
Pam situation going on
pa
here.
pa pa. Anyways, you mentioned comic book writing. The Cloakroom. You guys have heard about it. I know people who back
Called the
Kickstarter
segue.
have been waiting on getting that physical copy in your hands. Just found out that this week it is hit the printer. It is printing now, so that'll be hit in your mailbox some point. I would assume in the next couple weeks or so. More importantly, or just as importantly, for those who asked me about it and then didn't realize how Kickstarter works, because I know there are some people in the DSG who maybe don't back Kickstarters quite as much, so doesn't know how it operates. You actually have a chance to go and back it still, or pick up a copy still. If you just go to the Kickstarter page, search the Cloakroom, it'll be under Scott Snyder Presents the Cloakroom over on Kickstarter. There's an option there. I don't remember what the button is, but there's a blue button right there where you can just click on it and you can pick which option you want to acquire. So nice and easy there for you. If you missed out, this is your last chance. It's only going to be there for a couple days because the printing is in process now. So something to look out for. Also, speaking of stuff to look out for, if we're doing what's new or new comics, however you want to look at it, that's what we're doing today. We're not doing the mainline episode where our streak has ended. That usually means that we have something in the hopper, nothing in the can yet. So we don't want to get into specifics because we don't want to jinx anything. But
You don't want to limit it.
Yeah, exactly. But this is a reminder to go and subscribe to one of our audio channels: Apple, Spotify, Geeks Worldwide Radio, Amazon, Pocket Cast, all the major podcasting platforms. And if you can't find us on the platform that you listen to, you're just scrolling through Twitter or YouTube and you found us there, let us know. We'll make sure we get over there. Haven't had any complaints to this stage, but do you want to subscribe there? Because that's the only place you're going to find our Friar Side chats. Those are conversations with creators across the industry. You never know when they're going to come, because honestly, we never know when the fuck they're going to come. So make sure you subscribe to one of the audio channels and leave a 5-star rating and review while you're there. If you can leave a higher rating, please do. Otherwise, you're going to learn the real meaning of backcracker. But Joe, that is it for plugging. We want to get moving on what's new this week, because there are a lot of books coming out. But first, we got to catch up just a little bit. What do you got for me?
Real quick, I take all this time, Nicholas, to create these wonderful backgrounds, and you have the gall to go with something completely different.
This is the background I use, so we don't have the same background.
We should have we're unity, Nicholas. Unity.
Oh.
Right? Give people the impression that maybe we're big time. We're recording in the same place, perhaps.
Oh. You think that the background's going to lead people to think we're in the same place?
Well, you never know. I don't want to call them idiots, Nicholas. But
I would. How dare you?
but
Unbelievable.
seriously, I put a great deal of effort, and I run many proofs by you, and you reject many of them.
Right, many proofs.
You shut them down, and so this is painstaking work. And
You
then
know what, though?
you
You know
just
what?
take you fucking couch.
You didn't do it. I think it was last week. And if you look, there was a typo. I didn't see it till after the fact when I
Oh,
was
was
editing
there?
things. Yeah, it was
Well,
a
that's
small
on
thing.
you.
It was a
That's
small
on
thing.
you.
That's on me.
That's on you. 100%.
Anything that goes wrong on this show
Uh,
is my
well, when it comes to grammar, my friend, 100% it's on you. Yeah, yeah,
interesting. Well, you didn't
yeah.
show it to me. Anyways, it wasn't, and I would say it wasn't grammar. It was a date thing. You put a 0 where there shouldn't be a 0. It was like you put like, what was last week's date? It would have been the 17th. So you put like 5/0/17/24.
Oh, I had fat thumbs.
Okay.
Okay, so catching up. What do we got, Nicholas?
You
go
brought
first.
that on yourself. So I caught up on
I bring a
Nightwing.
lot of things on myself. It's a jerk thing to do to point them out.
Nightwing issue 113. I had to catch up because obviously the start of the the final arc for Tom Taylor. And you didn't mention this, I don't think, when we talked about Nightwing.
I didn't see it.
Okay,
do you know? Up on it.
Do you know? Have you seen it now since you saw my note?
No, I haven't. I haven't had a chance to go back and look at it.
Okay, so there's a Nightwing 113. There's like an award ceremony, and afterwards, Dick Grayson takes everybody to this pizza joint, and there's a bunch of people in this one image, this full page image of all these people at this joint in Bloodhaven. And this issue is illustrated by Daniele Di Nicuolo, who worked with Tom Taylor on Seven Secrets. And there were 3 characters from that series that made
no way.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. Yep. I was blown away when I saw that. I was looking at it. I was like, "Oh, who's in here?" And it's like, "Wait, I know you, and I know you, and you." So yeah,
I'm definitely gonna go back and take a look. Now that's like when I can't remember what Dan Mora book it was, but he drew Gran in the background. It's like a background character. I can't remember what book it was, but that's a cool little Easter egg. I love that.
Yeah, that was fun. But that was the only one. I had to catch up a little bit on Nightwing, but other than that, there was a lot of new stuff to get to this week, so I was mostly focused on that. What about you?
So Doom, issue 1. I didn't realize this was just an oversized one shot. I did a little video on it. It's on TikTok. It's on I believe it's on Instagram as well. Nice. But this was very much a Galactus story as it was a Doom story. So 2 great villains just sort of going up against each other. This was an excellent, and I think it was written by Hickman. So go back, check that one out. It's a one shot. So I think it's like 50 pages or something like that. It's a real nice. It's a real nice. Gun Honey Collision Course issue 1. I love the Gun Honey series written by Charles Adai. This is through Titan Comics and Hard Case Crime, which is our Dai's, publisher imprint. Thank you. Excellent.
I was sure you're going there.
A lot of boobies. I bought the naughty cover. Yeah. I gotta stop buying those, but I do it for content.
Of course. You got to take care of the people
for the show. And then lastly, Fall of the House of X issue 4. I read that as a segue into what is dropping this week from Marvel. We have the Amazing Spider-Man issue 50, Ultimate Black Panther issue 4, the Immortal Thor issue 11, Fall of the House of X issue 5. Last issue, I'm correct? This was something else, Nicholas. Did you read it?
Nope.
Oh man. I tell you, like I said this. I think I said this last week. Nothing is harder right now at Marvel than X-Men. They're fucking killing it. Between X-Men 97, the cartoon show, and how they've been wrapping up the Krakoan era. Before we lead into what's coming down the line, I've got no idea really what to expect, other than they've got some really great creators and artists attached to those books. But like, as much as I've bitched and moaned about X-Men at times over the past 4 years, it's really been excellent. And especially, everything since the Hellfire Gala and the fall of the House of X in general. Tremendous. This issue in particular was tremendous. The Spectacular Spider-Man issue 3, Star Wars issue 46, Blood Hunt issue 2, which you're reading, and I also want to put out there they also have a red band edition. So if Blood Hunt is not vicious enough for you, they've got an even more vicious version, which I believe is also in plastic.
Yeah, that I think you're correct in that because I think you saw the
The
first issue
first,
one in the
yeah,
wild. I didn't see
because
the
they were actually giving those out. No, it was a different book. Newbury Comics was giving out a comic for free. You know,
probably a vault book. No, they're the ones that tend to do that.
it might have been actually, but I grabbed that, and then I wasn't intending to read, Blood Hunt because you've got dibs on it.
Mhm.
Um, but I saw it in the plastic, and I said, "Ooh, this is quite
Yeah.
interesting."
I'll tell you what, too. By the way, like I said, that this series was going to get the people talking, and I said in the first issue was friggin' wild. I was still caught off guard by the end of this issue. Like, damn, man, it is crazy. And speaking of Red Band too, we got some pretty big news today about a one Greg Capullo is going to be, in fact, going to be illustrating some Wolverine stories with Hickman.
Yeah, Hickman and Capullo working on Wolverine. Like, so this is the thing because we've loved Percy's. I mean, Percy's run on Wolverine has been 4 years, right? It's been a long friggin' time,
50 issues.
right? Like that's absolutely tremendous. So it's like, where do you go? It's the same issue I sort of had with Daredevil after Chip, right? My Chip. Where is it going to go from here? Right? I don't think you could think of a better team right now than Hickman and Capullo to
Hmm.
to attach to Wolverine there. So,
Very
and it's
excited for that 5 issue series.
which is going to be excellent because I got a feeling it's because Hickman was so integral with X-Men and really launching this the Krakoan era of X-Men. So I wonder if this 5 issue will sort of have anything to do with that, like a love letter to that the last 4 years, or this will just be an awesome, kick-ass, totally independent 5 issue Wolverine story. So definitely something to keep your eyes on.
Hmm.
With that, we have Superior Spider-Man issue 7, X-Men 97 issue 3, The Sensational She-Hulk issue 8, Symbiote Spider-Man 2099 issue 3, Spider-Gwen the Ghost Spider issue 1, Union Jack the Ripper Blood Hunt issue 1, Predator the Last Hunt issue 4, Amazing Spider-Man volume 9 Gang War, X-Force volume 8, Luke Cage Gang War trade paperback. This, of course, is Rodney Barnes's Luke Cage story, all wrapped up into one trade paperback,
Which you have dibs
in
on.
which I have dibs on. And I do have to talk about because that was a fun little series. But one book from Marvel we want to talk about this week is Ghost Rider Final Vengeance issue 3. Nicholas, lead us off.
Oh damn, man! You and I were talking about it before, and this is all time. This I've been loving what Percy. Obviously, look, we've gushed over Percy and what he's done with Ghost Rider a ton, and then seeing him bring the Hood in the mix, we've been all about it. But this issue 3, man, the action in this is nonstop, and we get a little twist that we don't want to get into, obviously. But it was just like, oh, this is an awesome little wrinkle being thrown into the mix.
So I've said this before. I am a Ghost Rider noob. I never read it as a kid because it just terrified me. The character looked too scary for me. So really, but yeah, obviously familiar with the character Ghost Rider, right? But so
Sure.
Percy's run was really my first real sort of in depth uh you know time with the character, and he absolutely I loved it. I loved every friggin' issue that he did with the mainline Ghost Rider there. And now this Final Vengeance story has been excellent. This issue, I was telling you before we kicked things up, uh, this is the best Ghost Rider issue I think Percy has written. It was excellent,
Yeah.
excellent, excellent, excellent. What's the cat's name? That's the Ghost of Vengeance there.
The Hood.
Yeah. What Parker Robinson,
Yes.
right? Man,
Robbins.
Parker Robbins, thank you. What you get from him in this issue is all time.
Yeah.
Absolutely all time. It's methodical, it is violent, it is vicious. This is a guy with a plan, man. And then the twist you get, and it's just this was a really, really excellent issue. Of any comic book you're gonna read this week, but especially for Ghost Rider.
Danny Kim absolutely killed it Like
Mhm.
this, the art in this series has been awesome, and I've been also loving Juan Ferreira's covers as well. But man, Danny Kim's like this interior artwork, man, like that's part of why this thing
Yeah.
was so damn good. I mean, there's one specific image of the hood right in action, and it's like this is just a full page of just perfect. I
Yeah.
just love what they've done with the character and the look and everything. So yeah, it has been a load of fun. A great series again, like the Ghost Rider stuff from Benjamin Percy. We can't say enough good stuff about it. Moving over to DC, we got Batman, Superman, World's Finest, issue 27, Superman, issue 14, Wonder Woman, issue 9, Titans, issue 11, Catwoman, 65, Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong, issue 7, Hellblazer, Dead in America, issue 5, Alan Scott, The Green Lantern, issue 6, Green Lantern War Journal, issue 9, Batman, Wayne Family Adventures, Volume 4, Superman, Son of Kal-El, Volume 3, Zatanna and the Ripper, Volume 3. I'm not sure about that, what that is exactly. I never read that, and this is the first time seeing that name come across our radar, so maybe something one of us we should look into. And then, of course, we got Nightwing, issue 114, Fallen Grayson, the final arc from Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo.
Yeah. This was excellent. I sent you a bunch of I asked you if you had read it yet, and I was very excited about it. And then, you sort of replied like, what really got you going about this issue? So what I'll say is that you're right. There wasn't like there w- there wasn't a moment in this issue where it made your jaw drop, or there was a big, a big, well,
It
strike
was
that.
good. Like it's just to be clear, like it was good. But
Yes, yes, yes.
your reaction like threw me because like this to me felt like it was on par for what we expect from Taylor. That's the difference.
What really sort of got me excited, and why I sent the eyeball emojis, was what happens at the end. And I was about to say there isn't a big reveal, but there is, a, a- you might call it a reveal, but like the way it ends, like if you're into any sort of political intrigue, and what I think what makes books like Game of Thrones, so great is that there's this political chess match. The same thing with Dune, right? It doesn't come across so much in the movies, but like in the books, very much so, where you've got like people just sort of pulling the rug out from you when you don't expect it. And there's a bit of information, though, at least we don't know if it's true or not, but it's very political in nature. I love that kind of stuff. And
Sure.
that's not something that we've been getting in Nightwing, right? And so it's like, okay, here we go. How is this going to play out? Because it's, Fallen Grayson, I believe, is the name of the arc, and that wordplay can take on so many different meanings,
Yep.
right? Because what we know so far is that Alfred Pennyworth has left Dick Grayson a large sum of money, and he's done he's done a lot of great things with that money, which has pissed a lot of people off. And so, the way that's set up at the end of this issue, it could go in many different directions, and that's what had me very excited.
Mm. Yeah, that's totally fair. And I felt like okay, I'm ready for the next issue after this. It wasn't less for me. It just wasn't like oh shit. It was like okay, these are interesting developments. This is a good issue. A strong start to the final arc.
Yeah,
That's just how I'd sum it up for me. But yeah, I mean, and also in a week where we just have so much stuff,
yeah.
like so much good stuff. I mean, like you got to take us through Boom. I mean, there was a ton of quality that came out from them this week.
Well, you got the blow away issue 2, which I am jealous as shit about, that you called dibs on.
Yeah, buddy. Good stuff.
Um, and then we have Man's Best issue 3, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers issue 120. We have Grimm issue 17. Did you read Grimm?
Oh yeah, I had
Yeah, that
I
was a heartbreaking issue, man.
yeah,
Uh,
really, really honestly, like I kind of got like a little triggered in it. Like, and I don't know
I
why.
go a
Uh,
100%,
Like,
a
like
100%.
not because it wasn't for me. It wasn't like life experience that did that to me, but it was also, but it well, maybe there are like not like it's like a parental thing there, but maybe I've had other people like that in my life that aren't parental figures, but it's like that person in this issue, like what a dick.
Yeah, this was a real gut wrenching issue.
Yeah.
But great for the story, because we've had issues like this with other characters. So it's nice to when we get these sort of origin stories, if you will, some of these characters that we've been reading along with for so long. And then Something is Killing the Children, issue 37, right? On the Road, right? So this is the second issue of this arc where we get another standalone issue. Again, excellent. The covers for this particular issue, absolutely excellent, especially the one by Dustin Wynn, which is on our Instagram page.
Oh yeah, that's a nice
But
one.
just this is such a good book, man. And I'm glad you're all caught up. But what do we have?
A quick note on Something's Killing Children, just for our listeners who took a long time or have been intimidated maybe by how much is left. It's like, oh, I don't want to dip my toe in. I don't know. There's just so much. It's a massive commitment. This is the arc to kind of just figure it out and be like, oh, okay, we'll get, like, I'll take a look here. Issue 36, issue 37, and I think the 4 issues or 3 issues that are going to come up next. This is your chance to just like, okay, I'm going to check it out and see if I like it. Do I like the art? Do I like Tynan's writing? All that kind of stuff. You can get a feel. You don't have to have any prior knowledge. Just, all you know is that we both love the series. But yeah, this could be a way for you guys to test it out.
Great entry point.
Yes, but on the note of Dark Horse, as you were trying to get me to, Blue Book 1947, issue 4, Dudley Datsun and the Forever Machine, issue 2, The Assassin's Apprentice, volume 2, issue 6, Toxic Commando, Rise of the Sludge God, issue 3, The Oddly Pedestrian Life of Christopher Chaos, volume 1, and then, Joe, a book that I apparently swiped from you just in time, because The Butcher Boy was on your list to check out. Issue 1 of that is out this week. Correct? You wanted to read this?
Well, number ones across the board. I'm going to try and do my best to read the number ones. And this one did look interesting. But again, you are a dick.
Yes. So this is this one. I remember seeing the review cover, the review copies. And I saw the cover and I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. I might go and check that out. And then last minute, I kind of forgot. And then I went and started reading it. And I was like, oh, like I see the first page and I was like, wait a minute, what a tone to set. And then I look at the second page and the third and like the first 5, it's just like, oh, okay, like this is some crazy ass shit. Like this series is off to a wild start, and then things kind of slow down, and we get more of the story, but the tension starts to build. Like you're already kind of tense. You already know like shit's gonna go sideways, but the tension starts to build more and more in a different way as the series goes along, and it's basically centered around 6 friends who travel to this spooky town. And I'm telling you, it's very eerie. And I think by making things so fast-paced and so intense in the first like 5 or 6 pages, it really enhanced that uncomfortability that we get the rest of the story. And again, like these friends too, they all are bringing some level of drama to this story. So we're starting off tense as readers, and then these characters are all tense. So their tension adds to more tension, and it's like, this is a great first issue. And I was not familiar with this creative team at all. I don't think you are either. We're talking Landry Q. Walker and Panel Vaughn are the writers.
Nope.
Justin Greenwood is the artist. Brad Sampson as the colorist. And then I think Pat Brusso is a name we're familiar with as the letterer. But yeah, so this was a little sneaky first issue from Dark Horse this week. So definitely go check that out at your local comic shop. If you didn't have it on your radar, we didn't either. And I am so glad that I caught it when I did.
Love that. Yeah, this was. I have no idea. So that's fair game. I should probably start getting in the habit of reading the number ones first. Instead of like reading my favorite books first.
It's hard though, man. I do the same thing. I don't always go for the first one. I mean, like I said, I didn't do it till the day we were recording. So we've had that for 3 days. Just
that's a good pull. I'm gonna rip us through these next few. Nicholas, from AWA, our friends over at AWA Studios are really trying to taunt me with more Ribbon Queen. So Ribbon Queen Volume 1, the trade paperback, is out this week. So I get to read it in all one fell swoop with the lights on and my blankie and my wubby and everything that helps me feel safe and comfy. Too, because hopefully you're not as chicken shit as I am, and we'll love it.
If you do it in one day, I'm going to be very proud of you. I don't think you will. And
I'm going to have to do it in one day. No, there's no way I can't not do it in one day. I've got to read it all at once and then close it and never look at it.
Bury it deep down inside and never bring it up again.
That's right. So that's what we have from our friends at AWA. From Mad Cave Studios, we have Nottingham issue 12
Hell yeah.
and Eden Frost. Let me say it again. Eden Frost, the trade paperback. We did get an advanced copy of this. This does. I didn't read the whole thing. I started reading it, and I go, this looks very interesting. So
Go for it, because I've been debating about it for a while. And if if you like it, like, let me know if you end up feeling like it's dibs worthy or not. But
we'll do.
Crack at it.
We'll do, because it intrigued me very much. And then from IDW, we have TMNT Saturday Morning Adventures, issue 13, Star Trek Defiant, issue 15, and My Little Pony, Set Your Sail, issue 2.
Just look, the way you said that's like, I need this as a comfort book. That's what I need.
I'm going to need this in one hand and Ribbon Queen in the other.
There you go. Exactly. Oh my God. Oh, wait a minute. That is Tony and Trish's next project. If they do a third one, it's Ribbon Queen meets My Little Pony. There you go. Boom.
Yeah.
Oh, God. No, that's terrible. I shouldn't have put that into the world.
No.
Anyways, we'll get to Tony in a minute. Speaking of him and Trish, Dynamite, we got Thundercats issue 4, which you are on top of and have dibs of, but it's my own fault. James Bond 007 issue 5, Army of Darkness Forever issue 8, and Elvira meets H.P. Lovecraft issue 4. Then we got a distillery book out this week, Joe, and you actually called dibs on this one.
Yeah, fuck it. I got no idea. I haven't read the synopsis on this book, right? But it's White Boat, issue 1. It's written by Scott Snyder with art by Francesco Francavilla. We know what they're capable of, right? What was the book that I loved? Over
the one with the movie and
the horror book there.
I'll find it in a second.
Thank you. But that's a hell of a team. So I know this is going to be a hell of a book. So I said, screw it. I'm taking dibs, right? Because I've been a little, I've been pussyfooting around with my dibs lately. Not acting fast enough, or being, you know what, you can have it. No. I'm getting back to my old ways.
Oh boy.
And your books aren't safe, Nicholas. You might not have anything to read, because I'm just going to dibs everything.
That sounds about right. I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm still trying to find it. It's just not as quick.
Yeah, it's okay.
Night of the Ghoul.
Night of the Ghoul. Yes. So White Boat issue 1 from Distillery. Those nice oversized books that don't fit neatly in your bookshelf or long boxes, but are great stories nonetheless.
Yes, this is true. And then we got Image and Skybound to round things out. We got Void Rivals issue 9. You didn't realize Kirkman wrote this?
Not only, like, I don't know why, like, this completely went past my radar with Void Rivals, because it would have been an Image, it would have been number 1, it would have been one I checked out. For some reason, I didn't, and then it just whoosh. And not only did I not realize Kirkman was writing it, but I had zero idea that it was part of the Energon universe with Duke and Cobra Commander and Transformers and all that. So I am going to quickly catch up on this, because I need to read everything. Energon.
I'm kind of I'm stunned.
Dibs.
Yeah, no, go for it.
I thought you were gonna call that.
I read the first issue. Like, that's all. Okay. That's all you. But I was like, oh, okay. Like, it's just, I actually didn't realize at the time that it was a series, and then I think I didn't realize it till like issue 3 or something like that for some reason. But it's like, that was the introduction. That was the whole big thing. Like, that's how they introduced at least Transformers, if not G.I. Joe as well. So I did check that out. But anyways, speaking of,
I'm going back on that one for sure, because I just like.
That's a great one, because that's when I read the first issue and I was like, okay, cool. And then, like, we got Transformers. Now I'm going to read Transformers. We also got Cobra Commander issue 5 from Skybound this week.
Not for chillins.
Salmon Twitch Case Files issue 3, The Forged issue 8, The Holy Roller issue 6, Blood Squad 7 issue 1. Did you check this out?
So apparently this is like a revival of one of the early Image books.
Okay, that's
what came out.
It seems like.
So I started to read through it, but I was like, I've got other stuff I need. Like, it didn't immediately grab me, and the fact that it was a revival of a property that came out 30 years ago, it's like, not familiar with it at all. I've just moved on to something else. So
Mhm.
I didn't read the full issue.
Okay. Then we got Deep Cuts, the trade for that. Edenwood, Volume 1. A Haunted Girl, the trade of that, which Joe just talked about recently on the show. Perfect timing out of you. Blood Commandment, the trade of that as well. And then we caught a first issue that you're calling dibs on.
Yeah, it's another book I'm calling dibs on. Nicholas, I gotta tell you something. This was the most effed up book I think I have read in a long time.
Ooh.
And it's strictly because it's unlike a comic that I have read, in a
Ooh.
long time, right? So apparently Lore Remastered is a reprinting of a title I think that dropped in what did we find out 2003 or something like that,
Yep.
written by TP Luis and art by Ashley Wood. And so this is it was originally with IDW, but now it's being reprinted and remastered through Image in 3 sort of oversized volumes. So the art is fucking terrifying. And I'm having a hard way trying to describe it because it's sort of in these earth tones, this sort of taupe, tan, sort of black, white, gray, just like it's very eerie is the
Mhm.
best way to describe the art. And it starts off with just I didn't read the whole thing, but I read enough to say I am very interested. Where it's just like a page with this really creepy, eerie art with maybe just a sentence. It's almost like quotes, and
Mm.
that goes by a couple pages, and then it gets like into prose, right? Where
Mm.
there's an entire page where it's like a diary, it's like diary entries and things like
Ooh.
that. And then it gets into like your traditional comic book format, and it's sort of skipping around the mediums and sort of the presentation a bit. Very, very interesting, very intriguing, very terrifying, if I'm being honest. Like this is the kind of horror book, like to me, it's like a mystery horror book that's like it's sort of I don't know. I got vibes of like reading like Bram Stoker's Dracula, like that kind of like gothic
Mhm.
kind of eeriness to it. So, again, I told you I wasn't going to pull any punches. I read enough pages of this where I go, this seems very interesting. This seems like it could be a really interesting book to talk about on the show.
Nice.
So, I think this first one was like 100 pages. It was long. So,
Nice.
there's a lot to digest here. But Lore remastered issue 1.
Thanks. That's an awesome little find there because I saw that title and I was like, I don't know what this is. Maybe I'll check it out. But there were other things on my radar, especially from Image, because as you mentioned, Tony Fleece, big week for him. We got the return of Local Man issue 10, and then of course the continuation of his title with Trish Fortuner, Feral issue 3. Everybody is now caught up with us. Feral is absolutely insane. Like it's oh god, it's been such a fun book. But then also like Local Man too. Like what a great return for him and Tim Seeley. Like just a great week for Tony Fleece with those two titles, both knocked out of the park.
So we know how much trouble they got with a certain donut
Yep.
a few issues back. The way this one sort of kicks off, where the woman is doing yoga in front of Crossjack. He's like,
Yeah.
could you do that somewhere else, please? Like,
Yeah.
Tim, we
Yeah.
we got we got more Sealy bingo.
Yeah. Was it him or was it Tony? That's the real question. Now we have no idea.
Yeah, well, yeah. Tony could be, sneaky, dirty bird.
Yes, yes, he can. But okay, we got two more titles we want to get to close things out. Why don't you take us through Rogue Sun issue 19, which I decided to wait until I get the physical copy to experience this.
I was going to do the same thing, but I wanted to talk about it
Of
on the
course.
show because this is the one thing that the Massiverse is done well. Is Kyle and Ryan, specifically are trying to always kind of, I don't want to say like push the envelope, but they're trying to do different things, creative things, present comics to you and these stories to you in different ways, whether it be through podcast form, whether through a choose your own adventure, which really had me in fucking jumbles. Ryan, thank you. What Kyle's done with Radiant Black, with sort of the A and B issues, where you're getting the same story but from the perspectives of two different characters. And so when we had Ryan on with the Immortals gang, a few months back when we brag when we ended the actual interview. Ryan stayed on to chat with us because we're fucking dope, and he gave us a little bit of inside information. We promised him that this time we wouldn't fucking get him in trouble, because I already did that once already a few years back when I posted pictures of the first Rogue Sun trade before it actually did broken street date. So we owed him one, like, oh, we're going to keep this one under wraps. And we did. He had told us that issue 19 of Rogue Sun was going to be something special and something fun. And what it is it's a flip book. Now, Cullen Bunn has done this, where it, but a little bit different in his case, where Cullen would have one story on one half of the country, flip it over, and then you've got like another little story. With Rogue Sun, what we get is it's a flip book where the first half of the book, we get the story, but we get narration from one character, and then you flip it over and you get the narration from the other character. So it was really fun to see that dichotomy between Dylan and Marcus and what they're thinking and how they perceive each other. Because a lot of times when we're reading Rogue Sun, if we're just getting a narration, it's from one character or the other primarily. So you're only really getting things from that one point of view. Seeing how they're both different and similar at the same time, I thought it was excellent. This was a lot of fun. I literally had to flip the iPad around so I could read it. So this one didn't have me as big a jumble as as the Choose Your Own Adventure one, but it was a lot of fun. And this is a great. I'm definitely going to buy, the physical copy and add to my collection and reread it. But this is one you're going to want to go out, get your hands on, and read. It's just, as always, it's an excellent, excellent story.
Is one of the best titles going, and also that cover for this one is very, very cool. I'm blanking on who the cover artist for the issue is, but let me see if I can get that for us real quick. That would be the cover. Oh, Kelly McMahon. That's who it was. That's right. Yeah, awesome stuff. And then to round things out, Joe, Rook Exodus issue 2, Jeff Johns, Jason Fabok. Talked about this universe quite a bit. I really, really enjoyed that first issue. Second issue, just as awesome. We get a ton of action in this issue, quite a bit more than I think we got in the first one. The stakes were set very much so at the end of the first issue. Things got moved to further, heighten the stakes. We get to meet Direwolf, who I don't think we saw, maybe we saw at the very end of the first issue, but we've definitely seen like imagery of her if you've been paying attention to what's going on with Ghost Machine and Rook Exodus specifically. But for me, my favorite part of this whole issue was we get further explanation about the Warden masks and the effect that it has on the wardens, the humans that have these masks that help them have control over the animals on this planet. And it looks like we're going to see more wardens enter the mix. Direwolf is a warden, Rook is a warden. There's somebody who's, who we saw a couple other wardens, or maybe not wardens, posing as wardens that we've seen in the mix in the first issue. So I'm expecting to see more. Which one they are, legitimate or not, I'm not sure. But I'm very excited coming off of issue number 2 of Rook's Exodus. Has been an awesome start to this series.
Love that.
All right. And that is going to do it for us this week. Reminder for doing what's new. If you are a new listener, we're just talking about the new comics hitting shelves this week. That means we usually have something else in the hopper. But the only way you're going to catch that is you subscribe to one of our audio channels, Apple, Spotify, all the ones that I mentioned off the top. Make sure you subscribe there and leave a rating and review if you can. And also tell another comic book reader too. We're doing everything we can between reviewing books, talking to creators. We got it all for you guys. So the best thing you can do to help the show out is let another fellow reader know about the show. But Joe, until next week, stay sexy.
Baby. Woo!